Alright, so let me break down the first part of Call of the Night for you. It is all about the vibe, man. It starts with our main guy, Kuyamori. He is your average middle school kid, but he is seriously going through it. School is a drag, talking to people feels like a chore, and his entire life just feels beige. He is so disconnected that even the app icons on his phone look sad to him. On top of that, he can't even sleep. He just lies there at night, staring at the ceiling, trapped in his own head. One night, he just snaps. He thinks, screw it, I am going for a walk. And the moment he steps out into the empty streets, his whole world shifts. It is like he's discovered a secret dimension. The night city isn't dark or scary. It is breathtaking. The neon signs paint everything in blues and pinks. The air is cool and clean. And there is this profound silence that isn't lonely, but peaceful. There are no rules, no schedules, no teachers or classmates to judge him. He is just free. He is walking around with this sense of wonder he hasn't felt in years. And then, on a random rooftop, he sees her. Nazuna. She looks like a girl his age, but there is an otherworldly air about her. She is lounging around, totally at ease, like she owns the night itself. They start talking. Koa, maybe because she is a stranger, maybe because of the magic of the night, just spills his guts. He tells her about how boring and meaningless everything feels, and she just listens with this lazy, amused smile and then hits him with a crazy line. Hey, wanna kiss? Koa is floored, his brain short-circuits. She just laughs and says, just kidding, but if you want to meet again, come out tomorrow night. And then she is gone. Just like that. How is he not going to go back? He is already hooked. Their nightly walks become a ritual. They talk about nothing and everything. They run across the rooftops. They buy drinks from vending machines. They just kill time. For the first time in forever, Ku feels genuinely alive. He is not just going through the motions. Eventually, he can't contain his curiosity anymore and just asks her straight up, who are you? Really? You are not a normal girl, are you? And Nazuna drops the bomb with zero ceremony. I am a vampire, the real deal. But don't worry, I won't bite you without your permission. The crazy part is, Ko isn't even that scared. He is more fascinated than anything, and that is when she lays out the rules. Apparently, to become a vampire, 2 conditions need to be met. The human has to give their consent, and crucially, the human has to be in love with the vampire. The vampire doesn't have to love them back. The human's sincere love is the key. So Nazuna makes him an offer he can't refuse. She says to him, fall in love with me. Then tell me about it. If your feelings are the real deal, I'll bite you. You'll become a vampire, just like me. And you can live in this night forever. For Ku, this sounds like the ultimate escape hatch. He hates his old life, and this new nocturnal world full of freedom. And with Nazuna by his side feels like paradise. He agrees with gusto. Yes, I'll become a vampire. There's just one tiny massive problem. Ko is a complete noob when it comes to love. He has no idea what it actually feels like. He is like, okay. So it is probably like in the movies, right? Your heart races, you want to be close to them. That kind of thing. So he embarks on a series of incredibly awkward, clumsy, and kinda adorable attempts to fall in love. He tries to lean in for a kiss. Nazuna, giggling, dodges him effortlessly and teases, hey, hold on. Confess your love first. People in love don't just start with that. He asks his clueless classmates for advice on love and gets a bunch of useless, contradictory answers. He even tries to feel jealous of some random guy she talks to. It is also forced and cringy. You can't help but laugh. But the real magic happens in the spaces between these attempts, when they're just hanging out. Ku talks about his social anxiety at school, and Nazuna shares little crumbs about her long life. They become genuine friends. Ku slowly stops putting so much pressure on himself and starts just enjoying the nights for what they are. He tells her something really important. I like being with you. I like the night you showed me. I want to become a vampire not because I have nowhere else to go, but because I want to be with you, even if that doesn't sound like a love confession. And in that moment you see a shift in Nazuna. She, who always kept him at arm's length and saw him as a fun, temporary pet, gives him a real, genuine smile. She sees him changing, growing a backbone. And without her even realizing it, she is starting to change too. His earnestness is getting to her. This first part of the story ends on this perfect note of melancholy and hope. They aren't in love yet, but a real solid connection has been forged. Ku gives up on his cheesy tactics and decides, you know what? Whatever. I'll just let it happen naturally. I'll wait for my feelings to become real on their own. And Nazuna watches him with a newfound fondness. realizing that this weird, honest boy is getting under her skin in a way no one has for a very, very long time. So, at its core, this first arc is a story about two lonely souls finding each other in the quiet of the night. Their business deal is slowly, quietly transforming into something warm, tender, and real. It is less about becoming a vampire and more about the beautiful, awkward, and heartfelt journey of two people learning how to connect. Alright, so our two night owls, Ku and Nazuna, had found their groove. Ku wasn't that insecure schoolboy anymore. He was more confident, truly enjoying the nightlife and slowly figuring out his feelings. Everything seemed idyllic. But, as it usually goes, the fairy tale ends when other inhabitants of the night crash into their cozy little world. The first sign of trouble is aka Komura, his classmate. Not just any classmate, but a self-proclaimed detective who starts tailing Ku because he is acting strange. She notices he disappears at night and comes back in the morning with some girl. And one night, she successfully tracks them down. Ku panics, trying to come up with an excuse. But Nazuna doesn't care. She even invites AK to join them. The best part is when AKA, trying to catch Nazuna in a lie, declares, "I don't believe in vampires." Nazuna looks at her with a smirk and replies, completely indifferent, "Okay, don't." And that just blows AK's mind. She realizes she is dealing with something that completely defies her logical view of the world. In the end, Nazuna uses her vampire power, a kind of hypnosis, to make her forget the encounter. But the seed of doubt and interest has been planted. But that, my friends, was just the warm-up. The main event was yet to come. A new character bursts into their lives, and this isn't just any vampire, but a genuine force of nature in the night world, Siri Kotonoha. Imagine a woman in a sharp business suit, with eyes as cold as ice and the demeanor of a scientist about to dissect a frog. By her side is her loyal, silent servant, the powerful vampire Kabura. Their target is Ko. But not because he wronged them. Number 2 Kotonoha, he is an interesting experiment. His ambiguous, not quite human, not quite vampire state irritates her sense of order, and she decides to nudge the experiment along. This is where the second human character comes into play, Ku's best friend, Mahiru. A simple, cheerful, totally normal guy. Kotonoha decides to play dirty. She attacks Mahiru and starts slowly draining his blood without turning him. She does this on purpose, like a hunter using the cries of a wounded animal to lure in their real prey. And Ko, of course, comes. He senses something is wrong with his friend and finds him in a park pale, weakening, with 2 neat bite marks on his neck, and standing right there are Kotonoha and Kabura. And here, something happens that no one, including Ku himself, expected. He is overcome by pure, uncontrollable rage, a primal desire to protect his friend, and his body reacts on its own. He moves with inhuman speed, with strength he never possessed. He attacks Kabura, a huge and powerful vampire, without a second thought, and almost overwhelms him in a blind fury. Kabura, impressed and surprised, tells him, "It seems you are no longer entirely human, boy." Nazuna sees all of this, and in her eyes, for the first time, we see not playful concern, but real, animalistic fear, not for herself, but for Ku. She knows who they're dealing with. She bursts into the fight to protect him, and a tense exchange happens between her and Kotonoha. Kotonoha asks Nazuna with cold curiosity, "Is he your pet, or something more?" Nazuna, practically growling, replies, He is my candidate, and you have no right to interfere." In that moment, it becomes clear that her feelings for Kolu have long surpassed being just an interesting project. He has become hers, her responsibility, her something very important. The climax of this arc is a brutal confrontation. To save both Ku and Mahiru, Nazuna has to fight Kabura seriously. We see her for the first time, truly furious and powerful. Ko, in turn, shows incredible quick thinking and bravery to distract Kotonoha and save Mahiru while Nazuna fights. It all ends with Kotonoha, having gathered enough data for her experiment. She saw what Ko is capable of under pressure, leaving. But she leaves behind an unsolvable problem, Mahiru, bleeding out. And here, Ko makes his first truly adult and terrible decision. He understands he can't let his friend die. He looks at Nazuna and says something like, "Do it. Bite him, turn him into a vampire so he can live." But Nazuna refuses. She explains the cruel truth to him. The transformation only works if the human wants it and is in love. Mahiru doesn't want it. It would be plain murder. So Ku proposes the only possible desperate alternative. Then use my blood. Let him drink it. This is a moment of shock for Nazuna. She understands what he is suggesting, to make Mahiru a half-vampire. just like him, with all the consequences. It is a terrible dilemma, but there is no other choice. They give Mahiruku's blood, and he recovers without even understanding what happened to him. The outcome of the second part, the idol of the night, is dead. Ku has crossed a line definitively and irrevocably. He is no longer an observer, he is an active participant in a dangerous world. He became a half-vampire not out of love, but out of rage and a desire to protect. His bond with Nazuna has been through its first serious trial, and they emerged from it even closer, but also more aware of the heavy burden of the path they've chosen. The casual night walks are over. The real nightlife has begun. So, the dust has settled from the showdown with Kotonoha. Koto is now officially a half-vampire, stuck in this weird middle ground. He has got the superhuman strength, speed, and the ability to walk in the sun, though he hates it. But he is not the real deal yet. This new status quo, however, doesn't go unnoticed, and this is where the real organized power of the night world makes its entrance. Enter Kyoko, a middle schooler, who radiates an aura that is anything but childish. She is a vampire, and more importantly, she is part of the vampire police. Yeah, turns out there is a whole system to keep vampires in check and prevent them from creating messy situations exactly like the one Ku is in. Kyoko is polite, cheerful, and utterly terrifying. She lays down the law for Nazuna and Ku with a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. She presents them with an ultimatum, and it is a brutal one. Yamori-kun, you have two choices. 1. Become a full vampire. Nazuna here just has to bite you out of mutual love. Simple, right? She says, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. Or option 2, you give up this nightlife fantasy completely. Go back to being a human, and to ensure that, we'll erase all of your memories of Nazuna and everything that happened since you first stepped out into the night. This bombshell completely shatters their world. For Ku, the idea of forgetting Nazuna and the freedom he found in the night is a fate worse than death. For Nazuna, the thought of being utterly erased from the mind of the person she has grown so close to is a unique kind of agony. The carefree days are officially over. The clock is ticking. This pressure forces both of them to confront the elephant in the room head-on. Are they in love? Ku is convinced he is. The thought of losing her makes his chest ache. He is ready. He pleads with Nazuna to just bite him and get it over with. But Nazuna hesitates. For the first time, we see her truly vulnerable and uncertain. She has spent decades, maybe centuries, alone. And this boy has crashed into her life and her heart. She is terrified. Terrified of what it means, terrified of the responsibility, and terrified that maybe her feelings aren't genuine or strong enough. In a moment of beautiful and painful vulnerability, she confesses, I don't know if I can. What if I bite you and it doesn't work? What if my feelings aren't the real thing? Then we're over. Everything ends. The fear of failure, of losing what they already have, paralyzes her. This isn't about Ku's feelings anymore. It is about hers. The ultimatum backfires, revealing that the biggest obstacle isn't the human failing to fall in love. It is the jaded ancient vampire who has forgotten how. Their relationship becomes a tense, emotional roller coaster. They try to force romantic moments, but it feels awkward and staged. They bicker. They misunderstand each other. The pressure is suffocating them. Ku, in his frustration, even starts hanging out with Kyoko, who is all too happy to help. By subtly driving a wedge between him and Nazuna, suggesting that Nazuna is just toying with him. The climax of this whole emotional arc comes on a quiet, tense night. The weight of the ultimatum is crushing them. In a desperate, last-ditch effort, Ku begs Nazuna one more time. The air is thick with unspoken fear. Nazuna, her hands trembling, finally gives in. She leans in, her fangs bared, ready to bite his neck and determine their fate forever. But at the very last second, she stops. She pulls away, her face a mask of anguish and clarity. She looks at him and says the most heartbreaking and liberating thing. I can't. I want to. I want to be with you forever, Ko. But I don't think I love you that way yet. Not truly. Not enough for the transformation to work. It is a devastating confession. But it is also the most honest moment they've ever shared. The pretense is gone. The experiment is over, and in that raw honesty, something new is born. Ku, instead of being angry, is relieved, because for the first time he knows exactly where they stand. He sees her real feelings, not the facade she put up. He smiles and tells her, that is okay. We'll just keep hanging out then. Until your feelings become real, I am not going anywhere. The third part ends not with a transformation, but with a profound understanding. The ultimatum from the vampire police still hangs over their heads, unresolved. But they've chosen each other exactly as they are. They're no longer a human and a vampire bound by a contract. They're two individuals who have chosen to walk the same path, unsure of the destination but committed to the journey together. The story leaves them in a beautifully ambiguous place. They're not a couple, but they're something more profound than friends. The goal is still there, but the path to it has become the real point. The night is no longer just an escape. It is the backdrop for one of the most genuine, awkward, and heartfelt relationships in their long lives.